So my mom, who we call Tut, unexpectedly got pregnant with me when she was only 23. She'd already broken up with my dad. The two knew they were young and immature, but they decided to get married anyway. That's just what people did in those days under such circumstances. But my parents' biggest problems didn't stem from their ages. They resulted from my father's abusive personality. He was using drugs and drinking heavily. My mom knew the situation was getting really ugly. Before I even reached my first birthday, my mom snatched me up and escaped. I became a fatherless child before I could even pronounce the word daddy. And raising me by herself meant struggling to make ends meet. Between the occasional government assistance and my mom's multiple jobs, we never lacked basic necessities. We always had food on the table. It may have been liver, cheap meat, government cheese, but the table was never bare. Even if our clothes came from Goodwill, we were never without shoes or shirts. And the years rolled on, but the pain never disappeared. I mourned my dad's absence and I yearned for his presence. Every child wants and needs a father. And mine didn't want anything to do with me. No phone calls, no birthday cards, no arm around the shoulder after a bad day at school. I'm not the only kid to grow up with this pain. Millions of fatherless children in America struggle with this reality. The loneliness, the missing person in the stands when they finally hit the home run. The pain of watching their mothers struggle to bear the burden of a two-person job. The sinking feeling when the sun rises and sets on yet another Father's Day. And of course, the hundreds of aching, unanswered questions that leave them wanting to scream. How come he don't want me? The strain on kids and single parents has only escalated over the past few decades. In the United States alone, nearly 24 million children live in a single-parent home. This total, which has been rising for half a century, impacts about 1 in every 3 kids across America. With more and more single parents struggling to both raise and provide, the rate of mental illness and sadness among teens has soared in recent years. In fact, according to the CDC, 1/3 of teenage girls consider committing suicide. Fueled by technology and the collapse of community, teens are feeling the pain of social isolation. What if the church was known for rebuilding what's broken? What if, as followers of Christ, we followed his example by helping more families and marriages as they're stretched and broken? What if we stepped in or moved into those places with a hand extended to help, full of dignity and respect? What if we recognized the brokenness on the other side of town just as quickly as the other side of the world, and we did something about it? Solving the world's greatest problems is an audacious proposal. And let's be clear, without God, we can do nothing. But I remember reading a story about how Christians built some of the first professional hospitals. They saw a need and addressed it. By creating something new, they were on the cutting edge of transforming the way humans thought about healthcare. I took this and applied it to how I was creating art. And it led me to speak into the brokenness, not just talking about it and what we might do. The problem is personal for me. What about you? What problem do you see in your neighborhood, city, or country? How's God calling you to be a part of the solution? Because if you listen close enough, you'll hear him inviting you to partner with him in the redemption of this world. No sidestepping or looking the other way. We're made to solve the world's greatest problems with God at the center of it all.